Hey everyone, doing a little shooting in the backyard today. You know, working in physical therapy, chiropractic rehabilitation, and as a personal trainer, I get a lot of questions on what kind of exercises should I do for archery. And I also get that person that comes up and says, Clint, what is that one exercise? If you had to pick one exercise to strictly focus on, because a lot of us, you know, may not have the time to do a whole myriad of exercises, which is understandable. This is the one exercise that I give everybody to work on to help their draw cycle, their accuracy, and basically to protect that rotator cuff, all right? Let's go over that one exercise right now and why it's so important. So let's just cut to the chase. The number one exercise is called scapula retraction, okay? And what is scapula retraction? Well, essentially, it's taking the scapula, also known as the shoulder blades, and you're just bringing them back and together, okay? The key is that you want to keep those shoulders down, because some people, when they bring them back, they like to go like this, all right? You want to keep those shoulders down and then bring them back. And essentially what you're doing is you're taking the rhomboids, which is the rhomboid major and the rhomboid minor. They are located between the scapula and the spine, and they are contracting. And when they contract, they bring the scapula together and then in a little bit of a downward plane, just a bit, all right? Now, why is this so important, okay? So when you are performing scapular retraction, what you're doing is you're taking the head of the humerus, okay, which is up here, that's that ball component, and you're holding it tight, okay, into the glenoid cavity. And by doing so, you're also keeping that shoulder safe, because what happens is that ball can move left to right as we get older, and that glenoid cavity tends to smooth out, and that can create some shoulder issues. The other thing is that when you perform scapular retraction, your spine is now balanced, all right? And actually, I set my scapular retraction before each shot, so it looks something like this, okay? I'm pulling up, scapular retraction, okay? And then I pull back and then fire, all right? And once again, what that does is it keeps the spine neutral. Now, people who don't perform scapular retraction, shot after shot after shot, tends to take that spine and put a little bit of rotation on it, because the right side, if you're a right-handed shooter, gets a little stronger and pulls a little bit more over time. And that's also a good reason why you want to work on balance in the weight room with your back if you don't perform scapular retraction, okay? But after watching this video, hopefully some of you folks do that at home. And then the other thing is with scapular retraction is that the rhomboids aid the draw cycle. So if you don't perform scapular retraction and you just pull like the majority of individuals do out there, what they're doing is everything is coming from the rotator cuff, rotator cuff, rotator cuff. Now, I don't know the exact percentage of the draw cycle and the rhomboids being incorporated. I'm going to guess about 10 to 15%, somewhere in there. But if I perform scapular retraction first, okay, now some of the work is already being done or been done, and now the rotator cuff doesn't have to do as much work, taking pressure and stress over the rotator cuff over time. Okay. That is scapular retraction, the anatomy, and why it's so important in the archery draw cycle. Now, let's head on over. We're gonna go perform that exercise right now that you people can perform at home, just getting a simple exercise band from your local sporting goods store, or if you work out in a weight room, you can utilize the gym equipment there, even utilizing bigger weights if you choose to do so. But you don't need fancy equipment for this, just simply an exercise band and a tree. Let's go over and do that now. So I have a simple blue band here. TheraBand is usually the brand name, but you can get a bunch of other different bands. And it doesn't have to be one of these flat bands too. You can get one of those tubular bands as well. I like to go a little bit stronger. Once again, your darker colors, usually like your blues, your dark gray, your black, they're gonna be a little bit stronger, okay? And you can actually do quite a bit of work with these. So unless you're coming off an injury, looking to get one of these darker colors, all right? Now, simply just take a tree, take your band, wrap it around the tree. You're going to reach out, grab the two tails, and you're only going to use the scapula, or essentially the rhomboids, to pull it back, all right? So from a posterior view, it's going to look like this. And then from a lateral view, it's going to look like this. So the reason I'm showing the lateral view is that a lot of people, when they perform this, they like to utilize the biceps. You don't want to incorporate the biceps in this. Everything should come from the rhomboids, all right? So what they end up doing, okay, is they go like this, and then they like to go like that, okay? That's utilizing the biceps. We don't want to do that. Keep those arms straight. I'll even tell people, think of like a aluminum pipe, all right? Or a PVC pipe over their elbow, and that elbow's locked straight for the most part. A slight bend in it, don't lock it out completely, okay? And once again, everything comes from the rhomboids, okay? And then the other thing is, practice this on different levels, all right? Now, for the most part, when we shoot, we're shooting, okay, straight across. So we're working that mid part of the rhomboids, but I like to incorporate it at a mid-level, take the band. You can then go up on a higher level, and then incorporate it down low, and then you can incorporate it on a lower level. So after you master scapular retraction, you can now incorporate that into your rowing exercises, all right? Just never forget that scapular retraction component first, all right? So, like such, scapular retraction, and then create the rowing. Scapular retraction, and then row. And honestly, for all of my exercises, all my rowing exercises going forward, scapular retraction is the first component of any rowing exercise I do, whether it be via the band, a cable in the gym, or even just bent over rows. Same thing, if you're doing a bent over row, scapular retraction, bring the weight up, and then back down to that neutral position. Well, folks, I gotta go work on my traditional archery game right now. Trying to improve my skill set there. It seems like no matter how hard you try, it's always that little something that you can work on in traditional archery. With that being said, if you want to see anything more in regards to strength training, anatomy, conditioning, whatever it might be, put that down in the comment section down below. I read all of the comments and I answer all of the comments. So if there's anything that you folks in particular want to see, please put it down in the comment section down below, all right? Once again, my background is I have an associate degree in physical therapy, associate degree as a chiropractic technician, and I am an ACE certified personal trainer, okay? And I love bow hunting more than anything, or almost more than anything in the world, all right? So until next time, Clint, Oak and Iron Outdoors.